So there seems to be a little bit of confusion over who is developing the new Halloween game coming out in 2026. So I'm going to give you just a really quick rundown of the history of who is working with the license and who isn't working with the license. Originally, the license was acquired by Boss Studio Games. You will know them through the game they put out recently, Retro Realms, but also their work on Evil Dead, the game, the asymmetrical, that in my opinion was one of the best asymmetrical entries into the genre to date. It just got bogged down and plagued by a little bit of pay to win, balance issues, and server performance. Still, Boss did acquire the Halloween license, but they lost it early on and IllFonic picked it up. Gun, of course, was also trying to get a hold of the license, but after TCM, I don't think anybody's really going to give Gun development control of any sort of license anymore. But IllFonic agreed to let them co-publish the game. So Gun is basically going to give them some money, get a little cut of the profit, and they get to put their name on the game, and that is about it. IllFonic confirmed this themselves in a post here. We've seen a fair amount of questions come in since announced. So, just to clarify, IllFonic is developing and publishing Halloween with co-publisher support from our pals down at Fear the Gun. So if you're not familiar with the difference between developing and publishing, the developers are the people who actually work on the game. The publisher is just there to give money. They're the bank giving the loan, and as such, sometimes they get to apply stipulations. However, since IllFonic is also the publisher, this means Gun's influence is pretty minimal. In other words, Gun is really just here to coattail off IllFonic, with IllFonic having the majority of control over everything. And if we've looked at IllFonic's history, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed and Predator Hunting Grounds, we can see that those two games are still to this day getting content added to them, despite having very small player bases. It seems like IllFonic is very interested in supporting their games in the long term. Now, Predator Hunting Ground was a little plagued by a few issues, had some play to win, but when that game first launched, it had Sony as the publisher. IllFonic has since bought the game out from Sony and now have full control over it, and it looks like the game is getting better support as a result. Both games actually still have an active player base if you want to play them. Granted, they're not the biggest player base, but it's a player base, and the games are still getting support. So I think IllFonic getting the Halloween license at the end of the day is a pretty good thing, and IllFonic does seem to have a knack for creating a cinematic experience within a game. Honestly, I think it all checks out. I think Halloween's going to be pretty gosh darn good, and the fact that it's coming with not only the asymmetrical mode, but a fully fleshed out single player mode for those that just aren't interested in the PvP aspect that asymmetrical brings. Anyway, like I said, really short video. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.